Hello, we're here in the servant's bedroom at the OaknHouse, which is one of my favourite rooms in the house, although it is one of the most simply furnished. When I started at the OaknHouse some years ago now, this room was actually an office. And in the corner where the bed is, you can see there were filing cabinets that were at a bit of a wonky angle because of the floor. And there was a desk over here with a computer. And there was another desk and some more filing cabinets over here. There was strip lighting and an office carpet, and it was very much an office. But now that we've got the Barnes Visitor Centre, it allowed us to open this room up and interpret it as a servant's bedroom and cheese store, which we know this area of the house was used for those purposes in the 1600s, although not necessarily in the same room. You'll also see in the corner we've got some farm implements and some horse tack up there in the corner too. And that's because the inventories, which are lists that tell us what people owned, that were usually made when somebody died, tells us that in some of the rooms, in the servants' rooms and in spare rooms, the Turtons were keeping bits of old furniture, bits of old farming implements and machinery, in the same way today that in the spare bedroom we might keep the vacuum cleaner and the Christmas tree and the clothes horse. It was no different 400 years ago, which I think is absolutely brilliant. So cheese was made in the dairy, which is directly below us, and then it was stored up in the cheese store. And we know that in 1688, when an inventory was made, there was actually 46 cheeses here at the OaknHouse ready to be eaten. So, as I say, this used to be an office, and we actually put it together ourselves as a servant's bedroom. We built the shelves, and we built the beds, and we made the bedclothes, and we acquired the farming implements. We didn't make the cheese, we had those made. But the servant's bedroom would have been quite simple in the 1600s here at OaknHouse. You would have had a simple wooden bed like this one. Although we do know that there was feather mattresses on them because the inventories tell us that as well. So they wouldn't have been too uncomfortable. But underneath there'd have been strung with rope like this one, and then the mattress placed on top and a feather bolster too. There may well have been a straw mattress and a feather mattress to make sure that you didn't drop through the holes and it was nice and comfortable. However, it may well have been quite cold in here, but then again we know that downstairs in the kitchen the fireplace was on one of the walls, so it may well have acted as a radiator in here and helped to warm the room up. As a servant, you might have arrived with just your own chest, like maybe smaller than this one, with your few belongings in it, maybe a few books if you could read, some bits of clothing, some trinkets, some things to remind you of home, and that would be all the belongings you might have. You'll also notice that the walls are not black and white, they are just white, and that's because these buildings were never black and white. It's likely in rooms like this they'd have just lime washed straight over the beams, which would have been done every few years to make it nice and clean and bright. However, you will notice that in the corner here there is something, and this is some wallpaper, because this part of the house, when it was first opened as a museum, was actually the caretaker as accommodation. So there was bedrooms and a living room and a sort of flat where the caretaker lived with his family. So this is probably some 1930s wallpaper, maybe 40s or 50s wallpaper, and they've tried to cheer the place up by wallpapering over the beams, which can't have been an easy thing to do. But we've kept that there because, of course, it is part of the house's long history as much as the Turton family that lived here in the 1600s. So this is our servant's bedroom.